I'd had the idea, but of course it's a risky thing. You're going to take a photo of a father and a child. I'm a big believer in the freedom of photography. You better go and show their parents and just make sure it's okay. Now I'm there, they've got no idea I'm there taking a photo, right? And then I tell you what, it was a scary moment though. The moment where I walked up to him and said, I'm so sorry, I've been following you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Get the Shot, brought to you by Tamron Australia. My name is Joe Orchard and I'm your host. Today with me, I've got Chris, better known as Melbourne, I love you, from taking photos every day on an iPhone 4S whilst overseas. He has grown his page into this massive institution and I really have been looking forward to this conversation.
Cheers, Joe.
Chris, thank you for coming on the show.
My absolute pleasure. Cheers, mate.
Are people who shoot just on smartphones considered photographers?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, obviously, right? Like, I mean, number one, I have to say that. How much of a hypocrite would I be if I didn't? But yes, of course. And you can be a great photographer these days with a smartphone because they've come so far. Shooting with a, DSLR or whatever will obviously give you a better end image in so many cases. But who's carrying around a DSLR all the time? Right. But we always have a phone in our pocket.
There's a bit of irony that your brand is Melbourne, I love you, because you spent something like 10 years living overseas. What was your time overseas like?
Started just as a traveller, and then we very quickly realised that my particular personality and skill set really lent myself into being a tour leader, which I would have never thought before that. So I first started on Kentucky tours in my young halcyon days, and that was a lot of fun. And then I did a lot of just travel, like personal travel as well around that, and eventually went on to becoming a tour leader for a company called Backroads. That's where I really started taking photography seriously, serious enough anyway, with my iPhone 4S. But I loved my travel time, but then I met a girl and that was the end of the travel because, once you meet the right one, it stops you in your tracks.
Of course. So you create an Instagram page. What made you fall in love with Melbourne? I want to focus on Melbourne so much.
Okay, there's a bit of a backstory to that. So I was actually born here in Melbourne, but I moved to a little country town called Pambula, which is just over the border into the southern coast of New South Wales, near Merimbula, for everybody who would know Merimbula. And so for me, Melbourne was where the Melbourne Demons were, where we got to see McDonald's. Because there was no McDonald's up there. And this amazing place that was like Hollywood for me. I revered it. And whenever we would come down, we maybe come down once every 1 to 2 years to see the rest of my family. And every time we were here, I was just in love and enamored. Eventually, when I was 26, my family moved back here, even though I was still traveling. So I no longer went back home to Merimbula. I now came to Melbourne, and I was like, well, this is great. I just start wandering this. Whenever I was back in Melbourne, I'd just wander the city, get lost. Wouldn't really take photos, to be honest, too much. And I did jobs here and there. And then when I moved back, my now fiance said to me, listen, you're really cool. I love you. I think I'm in love with you, but kind of got no money. What are you going to do for a job? And I just said, well, I really love the city and I think I can take a decent photo with my iPhone 4S. What if I took photos of the streets and tried to sell them on the streets? There's a market there for that. I know that because I'm a traveller and I know what I would pay for a memento from a photographer from a city. And she looked at me and thank goodness she said these next words, which were, there's no way you can make that work. And I was like...
Nothing like doubts to put fire in your belly.
I love it. So I was like, oh, really? Is that right? Okay. So then I said everything about just to make sure she understood who she was with. And that once you said to me that I couldn't do something, I was definitely then going to do it. And I just loved it as well. The first time I saw a photo, I'll never forget it. It was up there with the best moments of my life. I remember the guy, his name was Chris. And he was from America. And he was an absolute champion. And he gave me so much confidence.
Was social media on your mind when you started out as a street photographer?
No. I understood that it could be a way to get my stuff out there to more people. But how do you think of the idea that I did? I don't know how it came about in the shower, funnily enough. I was like, there needs to be one place that shows everybody's photos. Because at first I was kind of an amalgamator. It was my photos, But every couple of photos, it would be somebody else's photo and I'd feature them. So if they'd hashtagged the name, Melbourne I Love You, which there's now millions of photos hashtag under. At the time when I started, there was about 650, I think it was. Now there's millions. So if they did that and, you know, maybe they'd at me or something like that, I might feature their photo. But I don't even know, like, it must have just been a momentary thought and I did it and then it started and then it took off.
Yeah.
And then I realized how to hack Instagram. Back then, it was just engagement hacking. So it was literally on my phone once every hour and a half, liking 165 photos because that was near enough to the limit. Making sure you engaged with everybody. Great photo. Oh, I love this place, da-da-da. And everyone will be like, well, this guy loves Melbourne. And then the page just starts growing by 1,000 people a week.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden at, 10,000 people are like, oh my God, I'm gonna get featured on that page. Then you're getting more tags and more ats and then your name's out there. And then inside 12 months, it had become probably the biggest page in Melbourne in terms of a Melbourne page, if that makes sense. There was Visit Melbourne, which is the tourism board's page, and that was a big page back then. These days, not so much. No offense, Visit Victoria, but you do a terrible job on your socials. Honestly, get KP back in there ASAP. Then it just kind of took off from there and grew until Instagram changed the algorithm. Yep. And you could no longer search for Victoria. So I would search for Victoria and I would just go through and like all the photos that I liked. And they changed that. So
how did you feel about the algorithm change? And just for audiences who may not know or understand it, what was the sort of big algorithm change on Instagram?
Yeah, it went more from a timeline view. So like basically, chronologically, it would be like if you posted, so everyone was posting around the same time between 6 and 8 p.m. But everybody would see everybody's photos, and then all of a sudden it went into a judgment-based thing done by the algorithm where it would say, well, we think you want to see this photo, or this photo first, or this photo first. And a lot of people were upset at that. A lot of people are still very upset at that.
Yep.
But Instagram is no longer a photographer's playground, really, unless you want to play with video as well, which you must do if you want to be successful. At the time, I remember being a bit heartbroken because what I knew and how I knew to grow the page was no longer the way. So I just stopped engaging like I used to and I just started posting. Because at the time, I think I had about 60,000 followers and I was like, what do I need any more for? This is great.
Yeah.
And then if it grew naturally, it'd grow naturally. But yeah, that's about, I think a lot of people were disappointed. And if you ask photographers these days, they'll say Instagram, it's not a place for photographers really.
Yeah, I think a lot about media and agency and how it's sort of good that, because back when my grandparents were growing up, there was one TV station with one bit of news where they grew up, but now a mother, father, daughter and son can all watch different news on a different device at different times. And so that agency, I believe, is a good thing. And so that was also the case on Instagram. You choose what accounts you want to follow and you scroll through and you can like and stuff like that. Now, content is given to you. And so it's such an interesting balance. Yeah. But I'd also argue that some of the success on your page has come from the algorithm change.
Without a doubt, and especially on my Facebook page.
Yeah. So
Humans in Melbourne is my Facebook page, which is much bigger than the Instagram account. Over twice the size. I saw early there that the potential for virality on Facebook was always more than the potential for virality on Instagram. And people might be surprised at that, but it's still true today. So I do believe that the same piece of content across both platforms, which I get to post at the same time. Now, obviously one page is bigger than the other, so it kind of does skew it, but the metrics outshine the size of the page's comparison, if that makes sense. So for like Humans in Melbourne's biggest video ever is 35 million views. Melbourne I Love views might be 15 million views or so, but it's like just way skewed. It's hard to explain, but like it's so much skewed that way. Like, and so Facebook has the bigger virality, but Instagram is the place where still people will look for that social. No one looks at Humans in Melbourne and looks how many followers it has. Nobody. Yeah. Nobody knows. Nobody ever thinks about how big that page is. But everybody will tell me how big my Instagram page is.
Interesting.
Yeah. So people still look to Instagram more for that. What's that word that when you look at something to get like your belief is
validation.
Yeah, validate. Yeah, mate, social validation. Thank you. They get social validation from the number on the Instagram page, but on Facebook, nowhere near the same thing.
I don't know what it is, but I guess Instagram positioned themselves as a good spot for businesses
exactly
and branding.
What it is. That's exactly, and for influencers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for an influencer, that number means the world, because brands will contact you more the bigger the number you have, pretty much. But what it should really be based off brands contacting you is that number plus your engagement.
Are you an influencer?
Yeah.
Well, you wear a lot of hats. You're a street photographer, you make content, you run a business, you sell all sorts of products.
But I'm also a brand ambassador for Brighton Ford.
Yeah.
I'm actually a brand ambassador for Tamron in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like, I love Tamron.
Hell yeah, clip that. Yeah.
Editor, I do. Like, it's just the truth. Like, my favorite ever lens is the 35 to 150.
Fantastic.
Like, it's the most versatile lens there is. Like,
once we finish recording this, I'll show you the 12 to 20.
Oh, yeah, I saw the videos.
Yeah.
Gosh. But like, what more do you need? Like, honestly, the 35 to 150 is just brilliant.
That's one of my favorite things, because when I started here at Tamron and Blonde Robot, I wasn't too aware of the lens market as a whole and what was capable, but realizing what a third-party lens company can do and position themselves, and to have this magnificent product like the 35 to 150, it's just unreal. And there still isn't really another lens like it.
Who's the competitor to 35 to 150? There isn't one. And how hasn't anybody made something like it? Like, it's the best lens I've ever used by far. I love it so much. For a street photographer, you might have the case that maybe you'd want a wider lens at times for tighter laneways, which for me can happen, but that's okay. I have another Tamron lens I'll pop on for that. But no, the 35 to 150 is it's like next level.
All right. I wanted to ask, I discovered you from a video where you took a photo in front of a tram and then you printed this photo and gave it to the driver because they're pulling a pose. A, how did you come up with this content idea? And B, this video blew up and did really, really well.
Yep.
What was the reaction to that?
Yeah. I knew that video was going to go viral the moment I took his photo.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Because like, he was such a lovely bloke. And I'd seen him around the city previously, and he always played with me. Like, whenever I asked for his photo, he'd always do something. I didn't know him.
Yeah.
I had no idea of his name, but I had seen him. And I think it wouldn't have mattered which photographer it was. He would have done something for them because he understands that I'm trying to get a cool photo. And the tram's cool, the driver's way cooler. So yeah, I've taken a million photos of trams, but it's the drivers that do something that make the photo better.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I'd actually seen him earlier in the day and tried to get something because I had this idea for content. And I had seen other videos where people gave photos, but nobody ever framed them. And that pissed me off because I was like, a framed photo is just so much cooler. So I thought of the idea that I'm going to take a photo of a tram driver. I'm then going to jump on their tram. I'm going to frame the photo on their tram, and he's going to see me get on, and not even 2 minutes later, I'm going to give him the framed photo. It's the moment of like, how did you just do that? And that's what makes that so cool. And he's just I got lucky. He was a sweetheart of a bloke. His name's Romeo.
Shout out Romeo.
Shout out to Romeo. He was having not the best time at work at that moment. His wife messaged me later and said, "You have no idea what this meant to him. You have no idea of how every comment that's so positive, what that means to him." And he'd been doubting whether he wanted to do it anymore. And that just filled him with, let's keep going.
That's wonderful.
And so like, yes, the viral post is awesome, and both pages blew up again and went nuts, and that's great. But the positivity that it drew out of people, that's worth more than anything else. Like, I can't explain to people, when you see something go viral and it's a positive thing.
Yep.
I don't want any negative. Like, imagine having a post going viral for negative reasons. It's like, why? It would just be so anxiety-inducing for me.
Most things that go viral are negative.
And this is the problem, right?
Yeah.
This is why society is where it's at. But it's also what gives me the opportunity to be positive. So, it's actually funny that I was thinking about that just the other day. But if you can make people, like everyone's on their phone scrolling, everybody, me, everybody. And if you can give them in their doom scrolling, to give them, we need another word for a positive scrolling. And give them a moment of like I know that video made people cry. And that makes me smile. And it makes me smile so much that I start to cry. And that for me is everything. And that's all I want to do in photography. I've done everything else I want to do now. Like I don't really have any more huge goals. I had an exhibition at the MCG before a Melbourne football game. That was enough for me. I've had 2 of those.
Wow.
That was my pinnacle.
Yeah.
Now it's just about writing more books and stuff like that. But I just want to make people smile. And that sounds corny as hell, but it's all I want to do. It's all I want to do is just make so many people smile. And I want my little girl, when she grows up, to look back at those videos and go, my dad fucking rocks. I love that he did that.
That's wonderful.
And that's all I care about now is just that, for lack of a better word, legacy piece of making the world a better place and feeding off the positivity rather than feeding into the negativity.
Was it a really personal video then, that one with the dad and the daughter doing the twirl?
Yeah. It was Father's Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was the day before Father's Day.
Unreal.
So I had the idea to go get this photo, and obviously that's a risky proposition.
Yeah.
Now, for all of those that don't know, because so many people want to comment it online, I have the right to take a photo of anybody I want to in public, but I will always approach my subjects afterwards to show them the photo, give them the opportunity to see me delete it if they want me to, and I think 0.5% of people have ever asked me to do that. But I'm a big believer in the freedom of photography, but I'm also a big believer in man, if you've got a kid in that photo, you better go and show their parents and just make sure it's okay, because they might not want their face online. I don't put Frankie's face online now that she's a bit older. So with this one, I'd had the idea, but of course it's a risky thing. You're going to take a photo of a father and a child. Yeah. What are the odds that I saw this bloke with his 2 kids? This is where I feel like the world, if you believe in a higher power, if you want to believe in God, believe in God. I don't know that I believe in God, but I believe in something. Yep. Right?
Same.
Okay. So I see them walk through Centre Place. They walk up the stairs at Centre Place and they keep on walking all the way out to Collins Street. Now they've got no idea I'm there taking a photo, right? That little girl, when they stop to cross the road, does a bloody twirl. What are the odds she picked that moment to do a twirl? What are the odds I was set up? You know how many times I've seen a photo and been damn, I wasn't set up for that. What are the odds I'm set up for that moment? And I was like, this is supposed to happen. And then I tell you what, it was a scary moment though. The moment where I walked up to him and said, I'm so sorry, I've been following you. I've taken a photo of you with the kids, but thank goodness he as well. Absolutely.
The moment he saw the photo, the way his eyes lit up.
Yeah. It changes.
Yeah.
He's gone from being on the defensive and being like, who are you? I've got to look after my kids, to being understanding then, oh my gosh. Yeah. Thank you. Because that's all I wanted to give him. And the thing is, I've had moments with Frankie when I'm walking down the street with her on my shoulders and I just wish there was me behind me taking the photo. Yeah. Candidly. Because I can set up great shots. I can take beautiful images.
It's second nature, right?
Yeah, of course. Set up the shot, take the shot. I've got this great shot of Candace outside of Pellegrini's. That's my first limited edition that I think is one of the best setup shots I've ever done. Right? Okay. To capture a beautiful photo, candidly, is completely different. Yeah. And to actually have the ability to give that to the dad and watch his face change, and then have his wife who followed me, message me and say, Chris, oh my God, you met my husband today. You have no idea. He's actually the best dad in the world. You could not have chosen a better dad to give this to. That is just validation of you know what? Yeah, this is great. But there's always that line of obviously these days I wear my Meta glasses, which are down there. Yep. And they're filming when they're blinking, right? As you know. And people always want to claim, oh, that's creepy. No, it's not. It's just how things are done now. Yeah. It's only creepy if it's like a phone is creepy. The ability of a phone to record somebody is far more than my Meta glasses.
Dude, I can totally relate to this. As a real estate videographer, we would do drone shots of the property, and 4 out of 5 times a neighbor would come out and be like, are you filming my property? What's going on? And I'm like, there's cameras everywhere.
Why would anybody be filming your property, dude?
Exactly.
Everyone's got that main character energy.
Well, so you've brought up an interesting point. Are you more, you seem like you like the thrill of the hunt more than the final result.
Yeah, like the thrill of the opportunity of finding somebody is amazing. Like what happens afterward, you know, it's weird though, because I feel like if you, maybe because you notice something, if you think about something, you notice it more in your day. Like think of a red car, you'll see a red car heaps of times that day, right? Yeah. Like what are the odds? But like the other day I got this tattoo guy, Josh, really tattooed. And I had this idea up on the Gold Coast in the middle of a half marathon where I was like, I want to interview more tattooed people. Because people are intimidated by tattooed people, but if I can show the other side of it, like maybe that would be a break down that wall. Anyway, the first guy I find with tattoos is the day that I go out looking for a tattooed guy. It happens to be Josh, who's like, he's fairly covered. Yeah. But that moment when I saw him, and you've got like, here's the thing, I still get nervous, and you got to be brave. Yeah. Because like I'm still just another bloke. Just because you got a camera doesn't mean you get like bravery tickets. And I'm like, hey mate, I love your tattoos. Is there any chance I could ask you about them? Yes, straight away. Yeah. The sweetest man on earth. And like that for me, the hunt of that and like then finding that, there's beauty in that. Like if I have an idea in my head, because often I'll have the idea and then somehow it just gets given to me, the perfect opportunity. Like I don't know if that is just like, that's just the way the world works, or if that's like someone saying, yep, you're on the right track.
No, I do think about that because creativity is like things will just sit with you, but they return in different ways. Yep. If you tell me, hey Joe, sit down and come up with 10 different content ideas for Tamron, you'd be lucky if one idea actually comes up. Yep. But I'll just be on my one-on-one with my manager. We go for a walk around the block and I'll just be like, this. And I'll just interrupt the conversation.
Yeah, driving for me.
Yeah.
Pretty much always, it's driving. My 365, I did a book in 2022 called 365. I took a photo every single day. Yeah. It's my biggest selling book by far, right?
Sold out. I tried buying one.
Sold out. Yeah, I can't even get one.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have, like I've got the one in my house, but I have no more. And to reprint it's too much. So it is what it is and it's done now. But that idea, so obviously it has to start on January the 1st, because it's one calendar year. I had that idea January 1st, driving to the beach at 10:30 in the morning with Candace, and I screamed out and I was like, I've got a great idea, but if I tell you it's going to become real, and if you say no, I'll be so upset. Oh my God, I can't tell you. Because if you say no, I'll be so angry at you. But it's because I was driving.
She must have been mad, wanting to know the idea.
She was like, just tell me. And I was like, all right. It's the 1st of January. I might not ever get this opportunity again if we have kids. I need to take a photo every day in Melbourne to remind people what's so great about Melbourne, because it was just after we came out of COVID. Yeah. And to my great surprise, she was like, that's a great idea. Oh my God. I said, do you understand what this means though? Yeah. There'll be times I'm just going to pick up and go. It's every day. It's for 1 year. We didn't know we were going to get pregnant that year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Frankie is one of the pages. So the first day she's with us. It's me holding her like this. But like driving for me is where so many of my great ideas come, because I feel like you go into another zone. You know, like sometimes you can drive and all of a sudden you are where you're supposed to be and you're like, I don't remember taking any turns. Yeah. I think you access a different part of your brain, and then it must let something else come through, like the creative side must come through then when you're accessing that part of your brain that your brain knows. Because driving is actually inherently a very dangerous thing to do. Sure, yeah. Like you're going at 80 kilometers an hour, so you've got to access a part of your brain that knows how to drive without you thinking about it too much. Because if you're thinking about the fact that you could die at any second, you would drive. Yeah. So I think it must allow you to access, well, me at least, allowed me to access this part of my brain that then brings all my creative things forward. And I would say 99% of my great ideas have come from driving.
Something interesting, so you talk a lot about Melbourne and liking Melbourne and loving Melbourne as a city, but you also have a lot of content and artwork that is connected with people. So how do you balance people and place?
Oh, good question. Good question, Joe. Okay, let me ponder that for a second. So Melbourne I Love You, my Instagram page, definitely more, or was more about place. In fact, it was very little about human. And the problem was that when I chose the names for the pages, I chose two different names that inherently mean two different things. One is Humans in Melbourne, one is Melbourne I Love You. I should have called them both Melbourne I Love You, I think. I try to balance it by how I feel. Because the thing is, if I'm not really feeling it, it won't come across to everybody else in the right way. Where if my passion comes through in what I'm doing, so if it's a photo of a beautiful sunset at Brighton and that makes me feel a certain way, then it'll come across because I'll write a lovely caption for it that makes sense. If I'm trying to push it, which is where, so, and this is where it gets into a bit of the fatigue of social media. I had to stop social media because of this. So I stopped pretty much everything. There was a period of like, I want to say 6 months where I didn't post to Melbourne I Love You at all. Just hoping that I'd be able to come back and restart it. And I only really did recently. And it was because like, I was like, I'm posting the same shit again and again. This doesn't make sense anymore. And if it's not real to me, how can I really give that to everybody else? So therefore it's better off if I'm not adding value to just remove myself from the situation. So I took some time out just to refresh and do some other stuff. And yeah, I just actually made the decision. It's actually about Melbourne. It was like, God, everything about Melbourne at the moment is so negative. And I'm having this conversation with my better half and her parents, and I just realized it's my job. It's kind of my job to be the positive one, and I'm not doing it. And then just something popped into my mind, which was, if not me, then who? No one else is going to champion Melbourne like me. So for me, Melbourne, when you say place and people, right? They're one and the same for me, I would say.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my answer. They're one and the same. The people make the place. And the place makes the people, actually. Yeah, so they mold in together. So if you're talking about a balance on social media, I don't really think about the balance so much. It's just whatever I feel like posting. But I feel like both amalgamate with each other to kind of become the same thing. Yeah, is what I'd say.
You do come across very content-brained. So when you leave the door, are you thinking about the photos or the content that you'll get from?
At the moment, yes, it's pretty much all that I think about.
Content?
Yeah. So the reason I had to take the break was because I couldn't think of any ideas.
Yeah.
So I just
consumes you, hey?
Oh yeah, I love it though, because I'm an all-in person. So when I stopped doing social media for a little bit, I got all in on fitness.
Yeah.
And I got my fitness to such a point, then I was like, I can probably relax on the fitness thing now and come back to content, which I think is what my brain was waiting for. Okay, you're fit enough. Get your VO2 max up to bloody 55 and then go back to content. So that's what I've done because I needed more of a balance. So now it's just about finding that balance between family, health, and work.
Yeah.
But I love my work and I wasn't loving it. And I had to wait till I was loving it again to do it again. And luckily I built enough of a little financial buffer there that like we could take a bit of a hit. Yeah, exactly. And that's what we did. We got by. But then, just maybe I want to say 6 weeks ago, like something just hit me like a ton of bricks and I was like, oh shit, let's go. Yeah. Oh wow. And then all of these ideas. So like Paul Candace, my better half, who I throw everything against like a brick wall. This. What do you think? And she doesn't even actually have to tell me. I just need someone there to throw it at.
Yep.
But then if there's one that gets a super good reaction, I'm like, aha.
Yeah. But also a negative reaction potentially is also the same amount of precedent to go out and do it.
Content-wise, maybe not.
Okay.
Yeah, content-wise, maybe not. If it's a life choice, yes. But if it's content-wise, I do ponder it. And I think, okay, how could I make it better then?
Yeah.
Okay, what if I did this? What if I did this? What if I did? Okay, that's better. Okay, you there? We there? Okay, good, we got it. So no, I do listen to her in that way. My first instinct is to get angry when someone tells me no. So when she tells me no, I've had to learn to like, okay, why are you telling me no? I know you only want the best for me, so what is this?
That detachment from yourself.
You've got to detach from yourself. And it's not easy for me because I do get very detached to like, no, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
No, it's not, you idiot. Listen to other people. It's okay to...
Ideas come and go.
Yeah, exactly. And it really is about the execution that matters. But I do think that you go through flows. And right now, I'm just in like this high tide flow. Like it's the highest tide I've ever been in. And all I want to do is go make content and go make content and go make content. I'd been in the city all day last Sunday and I gotten home to make sure I was home for bath time for Frankie. And then and like, I love when it rains, right? And it hadn't rained all day. And I was kind of like, damn, I really want some rain photos. I got one great piece of content, which is one of the ones that I was telling you about that I've got to still make. It's actually, it's a couple I took a photo of. And this is once again one of those world things, but like I took this photo because they just look so in love. and they were maybe, I want to say late 40s, early 50s. And so I took the photo, went and printed it in the back of my car. I didn't have any frames, unfortunately, but I gave them the photo, and they were on their honeymoon.
Oh my goodness.
Like, and you're just like, what? What do you mean you're on your honeymoon? It's such a great moment. But then, so I was like, all right, I'm good now. I'll go home. After I put Frankie down, the rain started. And I was like, oh, there's actually a cool opportunity. Not even to go and shoot, because I didn't want to waterlog my camera and everything, but I was like, I've got my meta glasses. I can give people an idea of what it's like to drive through Melbourne when there's a flash flood, because it was like flooding in the city. And I know the city pretty well. Like, I know the kind of rain that forces the big splashes of water. So I went into the city, had my umbrella next to me, and then I just wanted to get content. So I was just in there getting content. And then I saw an elderly lady, someone who I think is her daughter, and someone who I think is her daughter, walking along, and they're all under one little umbrella. And I look over, and right next to me is my big rainbow golf umbrella. And I'm like, well, I've just got to give it to them. And so I did think about content at the time. I was like, it will be a good piece of content for sure, but I'm also helping them.
Yeah.
But also conscious of they can say no to me posting this, and that would be totally okay. I would want to give them the umbrella regardless. So I gave them the umbrella. And then after I said, are you okay if I post this to my social media? And she was like, yes, of course. I was like, thank you so much. So
how many umbrellas did you sell from that video?
Oh, actually, I don't know. It wasn't actually that many. Not as many as what you would think. Not as many as what I would hope, actually, like because from the amount of that. But like, it's not really about.
Yeah.
What I would say to you about that? If you're going to talk about business mixed with content, right? Okay, maybe I sold 10 umbrellas. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was about that. 10, maybe 12. It wasn't many, and that's fine. But 3,500 people now follow the page that didn't.
Yeah.
That's cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked just because, do you know who Davey Fogarty is?
Yes.
He started Udi.
Yeah.
And so he posts a lot of content and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And he has a series where he, on YouTube, where he works with business owners and helps like get them going, or if they're struggling, readjusting. And he did this one advice with a woman that does these pouches that go on the sides of bikes to hold like snacks. Mm-hmm. He goes, just attach a GoPro to the front of your bike, ride next to cyclists, chat to them, and give them a free product, and talk about the product there. And so I'm like,
yeah, that's a good.
Ooh,
that's a good content idea for sure.
It is a good content idea, and so there's a part of me when I saw that clip of yours with the umbrella
idea, yeah.
And I am content wired where I have to think like, because people shouldn't just make content for the sake of making content. There has to be a problem that they're solving, mm-hmm. or like an actual reason. And so maybe it's a flaw in my system where I go to what is the actual purpose, and so I'm like, oh, this would have sold a lot of umbrellas.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? So if I look at it I take a step back from myself and I say, wow, you really didn't sell a lot of umbrellas, but I wasn't trying to sell umbrellas.
Okay, yeah.
In fact, I didn't even put a link for the umbrellas till about 3 hours after I posted, when Candace said to me, did you link the umbrellas? And I was like, no. So I popped it in the comments. I was like, hey, if anyone wants an umbrella, so I mean, maybe that's why I didn't sell many, I guess. I think it's because my first instinct isn't to sell, it's to just provide a lot of value. Because when I started out, nobody could see what I could see. Like, was that I just want to give everyone tons of free value in terms of content.
Yeah.
And then I'll naturally build an audience. And then that audience will naturally support me because I've given them so much free content.
Yeah.
It's very Gary Vaynerchuk kind of way of thinking. Yes. And I realized that later on when I watched lots of Gary stuff. I was like, yeah, this is how I thought. Like, this is exactly when I started what I was thinking. Yeah. And so I said to Candace the other day, that's where I'm at now. I just want to go and provide so much value to everybody that, like, if 1% of the people who I provide value to decide, hey, I could buy a calendar to support him, that's wonderful. Great. Yeah, and that's all we need. Like, yeah. And because why do you think people make content?
All sorts of different reasons. I think inherently story is the big thing that comes to mind.
But with the end goal being what?
To share something, to connect.
Right. To sell, eventually.
Yes.
All right. What if I told you my first instinct isn't to sell, that it's actually to... If someone said to me, hey Chris, we're going to give you the exact amount of money you need to live for the next 20 years, but you got to do your job. I'd be like, fucking sick. Let's go. Like, and I have the potential to make a lot more than that, but I just want to make cool stuff.
I know that now, having sat with you and spoken to you for a while, do you reckon the average person though who might stumble across the umbrella video would know that about you?
No, because people's first instinct is to be defensive more than that. But that makes sense, and I wouldn't take offense to anybody who thought that. But yeah, like that's what it is. Because like when I do the story of the guy with the tattoos, nobody would think, well, what's he trying to sell me? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But it's a nice video.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to give them. The video of the umbrella is a nice video. And the fact that there's a product in it. Well, here's the thing. If I wasn't an umbrella maker, right? Yeah. And I just had an umbrella next to me, nobody questions it.
Yeah.
But I would have done it if it was just another umbrella and I never made umbrellas. And I feel like that's the difference though, is that like I don't really want to sell anything. Like that sounds so stupid because I do sell stuff, but...
And I want to clarify, I don't have anything wrong with people trying to sell stuff.
No, people should. Media. No, they should.
Yeah.
100%. I think I'm trying to say to you, like, it's not my first instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it should be. Like, it actually, like, as a business, it should be. I should actually have that instinct that, like, I should use this to veer into selling something, which is probably why I'm not a very rich person. But
you're rich in spirit and character.
I'm rich in being happy.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm content is what I would say. And I'm most content when there's lots of people smiling because of something that I'm doing.
Wonderful.
Yeah, does that make sense?
That absolutely
is. Yeah, like that's pay me in smiles. Yeah.
How has your photography changed after becoming a father?
I do less.
Really?
Yeah, way less. Way less.
Does it become more?
It's more of her.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's more of her. Are you a dad, Joe?
No.
Okay. Do you want to be a dad?
One day, yes.
Yeah, okay. There's no way I can tell you what it does to you. It's impossible. If I take a photo of somebody, I inherently will think about Frankie. Yeah. And I also think about how, like, I don't know, it's hard to explain that. It's a really good question, mate. Because, yeah, it's probably more human-based, is what I would say. I take photos of places way less. That's what it is. Yeah. It's probably, if anything, somehow put me in touch with my humanity more, because it's a whole different experience. There's nothing that can get you ready for it. I had a mate recently who had a baby, and I said to him beforehand, I'm not going to give you any advice, because everybody was trying to give me advice. Because there's no way I could prepare you for what you're going to... And I could see in his eyes that he was like, mate, that was your experience, won't necessarily be mine, da-da-da. He's going through that experience right now. And it's because being a dad just completely changes you. And I suppose it's going to change everything. I drive way safer.
Yeah.
Even without her in the car. Like, I just drive like way less aggressively. I don't get as angry as easy, for sure. And photography wise, I feel like being a dad has just made me focus more on people, because I have to think about Frankie being in the same world as those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. And maybe that was the inspiration behind certain things that I've done. I've definitely taken less photos since she's been born, because you've got other dad things to do.
Yeah.
I can't go and see every sunset anymore because that's bath time. So, you know, that's a true thing. Like you can't go and do a lot of things as much. But I had to travel away last year overseas. I couldn't be with her for 3 weeks, and the toughest 3 weeks of my life. Yeah, it's hard to, God, it really, I think place. Yeah. You said place and people. Place kind of got left behind. It's pretty much, I don't think I've taken a photo of a place. You just made me think, I don't know if I've realised that. Since she's been born, I don't think I've gone out to a spot and been like, I need to get a photo of this spot.
Do you think you'll get back to that at some point, or?
I hope so, because I do love that. But people now mean more. Yeah, and people have always meant a lot to me, but now place just, it doesn't seem to have a, that's weird. You just made me think of something consciously that I haven't thought of, mate. But like, place has taken a very big backward step. So I think it's made me focus on the more humanity side of things.
Because I think a great thing about street photography is what people are doing, but where they're doing it is also as interesting. And so with that photo of the dad and the girl doing the twirl, the fact that it's in that entryway, it just frames it in a really nice spot. And so, yeah, I was interested to know how you think about that. And
that's an interesting one. Well, I think that's more just the photographer's eye more than anything else, though, because I knew that I needed a frame for it. But why does she do the twirl there?
Yeah.
He could have just been holding her hand.
And would have
been cool.
Yeah.
Just the twirl, though. The fact that she twirled will always blow me away.
Yeah.
It will never not blow me away.
Do you believe in miracles?
I believe in something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I believe that something in her felt me, because the kids still talk about it. So he messaged me after I reposted the tram video.
Yeah.
The dad. And he's like, am I getting a repost soon? And I was like, he said that the kids still talk about it. And I was like, well, that's mad. How cool is that? Like remember the day that man gave you the photo of me and I was twirling, Dad? They'll talk about it on the 18th.
Yeah.
Like that. Do you believe in miracles? I believe in something. She felt me.
Yeah.
She knew that was a moment. She twirled.
Unreal.
But she didn't know it. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's in so many photography things.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't being performative. She was just with her dad.
What's the word? Serendipity, I guess?
Yes, perfect. Serendipity. It's serendipity.
Yeah.
But serendipity is beautiful. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's funny.
Well, Chris, the way we like to wrap up the podcast is that the previous guest leaves a question for you. They don't know who you are and you don't know who they are. But the question for you today is, when you edit, what slider/tool do you hate using the most?
Saturation.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, saturation, entry-level photographers, they just dial it up instantly.
Yeah.
But
they understand what's happening with saturation, because I was the guy that put saturation all the way up. So I would just tell everybody, don't use saturation if you don't need to. Use vibrancy.
Yeah.
Vibrancy will make your photos, funnily enough, more vibrant.
I know, right?
Saturation will make your colors dirtier, if anything.
Yeah.
And I find it funny that back when I was starting out, it was just all saturation. So I just cringe at myself, to be honest, is what it is. It's just the embarrassment of my former self. But also, here's the funny thing though, all those ones that I really pump the saturation up, they're still the best sellers on the website.
Yeah, so that's all the stuff that's like all the added colors and things like that. Do you spend a lot of time in post in general?
No.
Well, especially when you're on the tram printing a photo out.
No, definitely not then. But back in the day, it was literally a photographic app called Camera Plus, hitting a button called Clarity.
Yep.
That was it. And that would do enough to then get it in a printable state that then, there's a photo called Chinese Hat, okay?
Yeah.
Or Orange Vespa on my website. Probably the two most sold photos I've got, I think, would be up there. And they are both just iPhone photos taken within inside maybe 2 minutes of each other. That literally I took about 8 seconds to edit. Like, yeah, it's nuts when you think about it. Yeah, so like now these days, post, like not really, like I just don't care. Like
I am so envious of you, because from a video background, all I think about is post.
Yeah, well, when I make a video, there is more editing.
Yeah.
But when I'm editing a photo, no. Like I suppose I know my workflow really well, so it's fast.
Yeah. I'm
not too nitpicky, unless I'm making a limited edition photo. It does change then.
Okay.
Because I'm asking people for a lot of money.
Yep.
And I feel like that inherently and intrinsically means that it deserves more of my time.
Yeah, yeah.
Where, having said that, if I was taking a photo for my website to sell, it gets a half an hour.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I don't do that often.
Yeah.
So, but if it's just like photos I'm posting to Instagram, I will edit most of them on my phone, on Lightroom.
Yep.
And they might get 4 minutes.
Okay, right. 4 minutes.
Maybe.
Damn. Okay.
Maybe.
Well, help me then, because I'm going to Iceland in November.
Oh my God.
And I'm planning on taking photos.
Yep.
Probably some video too.
Yep.
I just constantly think about editing and post. We shot something with Glenn, one of our ambassadors, all about the latest 12 to 20, and I was thinking the entire time about how to edit it, strangely enough. And so when I'm taking photos in Iceland landscapes, what would your advice to me be to be more in the moment and focusing there rather than...
Do you have a good natural eye is my first question.
Yeah. I think
you
so,
do.
Yeah.
Then just take photos.
Okay.
Just take photos. Don't worry about what you're going to have to edit later on. Just take photos.
Yep.
You know the rule of thirds. You know where your subject matter is. You know
Horizon.
all the things. You know everything like that. Just take photos. You can edit. If something needs an edit later on, do a little bit of an edit. But don't overthink it. I think people overthink photography way too much.
Yep.
And I think that's a real trap you can get in. My other bit of advice is know that you're going to print your photos. Don't take them for Instagram.
Yeah.
My biggest bit of advice for everybody is print your photos. Actually print them out. Do you know why my printed photo videos do so well?
Because people want printed photos.
100%. Yet nobody prints them. I shouldn't say nobody. A very small percentage of people print them.
Yeah.
And I think of everything that I take as if I'm going to print it.
It's a common theme on this podcast talking about exhibition.
Yes.
And so social media compared to actually, being in a space and seeing it, or a printed photo.
Oh, you can't compare. And you know how like some people say size doesn't matter? Size matters to photography.
Yes.
Do you know, like I can't even explain to see one of my images this big, an A4 limited edition print, right? And I remember saying, like, that's really pretty. I've done a good job there. And now I saw 1.5 meters by 1 meter. And I was like,
whoa,
holy shit, this is crazy. And it looks so cool. And it looks so much better than the A4 size.
We talked earlier about like content brand and stuff like that. The fact that I'm now going to have a hook, which is, you know how we talk about size matter? It totally does. And then people are going to click, we're talking about photography 100%. Later on.
That's so true though. It's so true. Like, mate, oh my God. The first time I saw one of my photos that big, I was like in love with myself. I was like, you are so good at this.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, look how big this is. And it doesn't look terrible. It's one of those things like it really does. When you see your stuff really big, you're like, no, I did that. But when it's small and like if it's on a screen, who cares?
I know.
But when you see it, oh God. Do you know what one of my ideas is?
Yeah.
And this doesn't have to be for the podcast. You can use it if you want to. So with my printing out things, I'm going to make a book. I'm going to call it The Printed Project.
Okay.
So I started taking photos the other day of people on my Polaroid camera, and I'm giving it to them, getting their story. And while it develops, I get their story, and then I give it to them at the end as a present.
Yeah.
And then I take the photo with them with the print. And that's going to be my next book.
And then the story becomes the copy that's inside the book as well?
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah, it's called The Printed Project.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll buy a copy. Let me know when it releases. Yeah. Can you sign it?
I think it'll be my next. I only thought of it yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to cut that out? Because this will come out in like 6 weeks, I think.
No, because once it's out, that means I've got to do it. And I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, do it. Because it's so cool. And it's something that I can take anywhere. Because photography crosses languages and everybody understands a print. I remember giving a print to a monk in Cambodia and the look on his face was, how? Like he was like, it looks so thankful for the photo of himself. Like almost like he hadn't seen a photo of himself. Off a screen maybe. And I was like, it's for you. And he was like, maybe it's just their way, like super thankful. Yeah. But my mate said to me, he was so stoked. And I was like, I know. Well, he was, right?
Yeah.
And it was like a moment of like, yeah, printing is so cool. Like, cause I got so, like, if you think about like the ways you can market that as well, here you go, this is my marketing brain. I'm going to get every one of those photos of the people holding the Polaroids. I'm going to print them out on Polaroids and then I'm going to plaster them over a wall in Melbourne.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Like something like that is cool.
Can't wait.
Yeah. I just love cool shit.
Well, Chris, I feel like we could just talk for hours
Joe,
and hours and
absolutely,
hours.
Mate.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
It's really good to also meet the person behind all of these wonderful videos and keep spreading this message of positivity. And it's just, been real wonderful. I don't know what to say.
Thanks, mate.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks, brother.
If you want to find out what Chris asked next week's guests, tune in to find out. See you next time, guys.